I've been flying for almost 30 hours, and the flight attendants won't stop crying. 30 hours ago, I hopped on a late-night flight from New York to Los Angeles. I had an entire row to myself, so I stretched out for a nap right after takeoff. I slept for a few hours, but I woke up to severe turbulence. The lights may have flickered, maybe even went out. I was too disoriented to be sure. I checked my phone. It was 4:03 a.m. We should have been landing in about an hour. But when I looked out the window, I saw nothing but open ocean. I hit the call button. I sat there for minutes, trying to figure out what lake could possibly be big enough to explain this. Then the attendant arrived. She flipped off the light and just stood there, grinning from ear to ear. Tears were streaming down her cheeks. She asked how she could help. I asked where we were, why we were over an ocean. She wiped her tears, still grinning, and said we'd be landing in about an hour. Then she walked away. I looked at my phone again. 4:03 a.m. It hadn't changed. I checked my laptop. Same. I'd been waiting with that call light on for at least 5 minutes. And started a stopwatch on my phone. For 2 hours, I stared at the clocks. They never changed. Not a single minute passed. I tapped the shoulder of the woman in front of me. She looked annoyed. I asked when we'd land. She said the attendant told her about an hour. I told her we talked almost 2 hours ago. She stared at me like I was insane. I tried to explain, but then I felt a hand on my shoulder. A male flight attendant was grinning down at me, tears dripping onto my shoulder. He told me to calm down or he'd call the captain. I sat back. The attendants kept coming by every few hours, offering meals. I kept checking my stopwatch. It was still ticking. We'd been flying for over 30 hours. I walked through coach, tried talking to other passengers. Everyone said the same thing. We're landing in about an hour. They didn't seem to notice the time. I tried getting into first class. I made it past the curtain, but 2 grinning flight attendants grabbed me. Their grip was like iron. They dragged me back. They said the seatbelt sign was on. They said I needed to sit down. They said we'd be landing in about an hour. I had no choice but to obey. A woman in a business suit walked past. She didn't look at me, but she dropped a piece of paper onto my tray. She headed for the bathroom. I unfolded it. It said, "Are you stuck too?" My heart raced. I wrote back, "Yes, it's been 30 hours. I set it on the tray and waited. She came out of the bathroom, picked up the note as she passed, and kept walking. That was 20 minutes ago. She hasn't come back. I don't think the flight attendants would like it if they knew we were talking. They seem to know everything that happens on this plane. I tried to use my phone, the Wi-Fi, anything. Maybe I could have posted something, but there was no signal, no connection, just the 4003 a.m. time. Maybe that turbulence was more than turbulence. Maybe it was us crashing. Maybe we're dead and we just don't realize it yet. But if we're dead, why are we still here? Why are the flight attendants crying? Why is the time frozen? I don't have any answers. I just know I'm stuck. The woman in the business suit is the only other person who knows. She hasn't come back. The attendants are still crying and smiling. I don't know what happens next. The stopwatch says 32 hours now. But maybe the worst part isn't being stuck. Maybe the worst part is realizing the flight attendants aren't crying because they're sad. They're crying because they know the truth. We never left 4003 a.m. And we never will.